At a time when, in the early years of the 20th century, when racial tension in this community was at an all-time high, there was a need for labor. There was a demand for labor here that was not being met, especially as we move into the First World War era, and the effects of the Great Migration and exodus of large numbers of African Americans to the North and Midwest. The state passed fairly stringent vagrancy laws that were targeted at African American males in particular, that said that if you were not gainfully employed, visibly so, if you were out loitering in a pool hall, perhaps, the state could round you up in violation of the vagrancy law, and you could be imprisoned and then made to work on farms. So in 1912, in the fall of 1912, the police chief at the time, William Barrow, led the police to raid an African American pool room on Cotton Avenue, rounded up a group of African American males. If we zoom ahead to the summer solstice of 1913, longest day of the year, an incident took place involving that same chief, William Barrow, and a young African American by the name of William Redding was tending a team of horses and wagon, and Barrow came along and ordered him to move along. That there was a scuffle between the two. William Redding, apparently, according to the testimony, panicked, using the chief's gun, shot the chief, and then a chase ensued. A bystander was killed in the process. He died later, and then William Redding was broken out of the jail by a mob and lynched in daylight 1 block north of where we sit, at the intersection of Cotton Avenue and Lamar Street. And a crowd numbering in the hundreds formed. We're fortunate to have a letter that my grandmother, then single, was writing to her future husband, my grandfather, who was at the University of Chicago at the time. It was mailed on June the 25th, 1913, from Americus at 7 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. Dear Mr. Hale, be glad that you are fortunate enough to be away from Americus, and be especially glad that you were not here Saturday night. Oh, it was terrible, ! with an exclamation mark. Saturday afternoon, a Negro shot the chief of police, and Saturday night, a mob made up of the lowest people here forced, with a question mark, the jail, and lynched him in front of Bailey's store. They must have shot 200 times. You see, it was back of our house just a block.
When she says shot 200 times, it is what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, that the body has been riddled with bullet holes because people bring their guns and they shoot into the body. Bystanders, onlookers, would collect souvenirs from the body of the victim. Of course, the intent of all of this was to instill terror in the hearts and minds of the black population here so that they would be compliant and would get to work, as it were. That is the context that sets the stage for the Great Migration. We say that migration occurs for two reasons, push and pull. Well, there was certainly a push out of this place.